sort of anticipated this run on the tight ends group, one that was called the best that we've seen in 10 years, right? Coach, I'm going to start with you, with a guy who was taking 34th overall. What do you love about Sam LaPorta?
I love Sam LaPorta so much because of the way that he moves. This guy is fast. He's athletic. He's a sub 4.6, 40-yard dash guy. The Kansas City Chiefs have set the tempo for how you use quarterbacks. The 49ers have followed suit. Got to throw in the great Zach Ertz from Stanford, California, who's done that well now for 2 teams. This guy can make the chains move, but he can also make the explosive plays. Didn't get a lot of action, as much as an athletic tight end would normally get, I think, in college football because of the way their offense was. But when this guy had opportunities, he made the best of it. He was a solid blocker, but that's not why I'm excited about him coming in the NFL. This guy can move the chains, make explosive plays down the middle. He's a very good red zone threat. He's got soft hands. I'm excited about what this guy can do in the next level.
Love that. I love that. Tight ends are fun. Tight ends are fun because quarterbacks, they make your job easier. This guy makes everyone's job easier. It's really interesting when you look at the Raiders and Michael Mayer, who they picked. I think that when you look at the position with Josh McDaniels and his offense, there were a lot of times last year where Darren Waller was healthy and he wasn't on the field. He wasn't in the huddle. And I think that lends itself to saying, okay, well, maybe Josh needs more of a traditional tight end. And so you look at a guy like Michael and you're almost saying, yeah, he's going to the Raiders if they get a chance to draft him. So they made the pick. I think he does a great job in-line blocking, which is what you want to do. You got Josh Jacobs, one of the leading rushers in the league. You're going to be able to dominate on the edge, and that's crucial in this offensive scheme, getting a guy that can do that. They used Foster Moreau a lot in that role last year. He's not going to be there, so they got to have someone that can fill that void, and Michael can absolutely do it. He's a stud. This guy didn't even want to play tight end, didn't even want to play football until late in his life. So he's learning the position still. He's going to the tight end boot camps. He's trying to figure it all out. He's got a great mind. He understands the game. So I think it's a great pick by the Raiders. I think he's really going to be able to help them.
Well, those are all viable choices. And MJ mentioned that this was the best receiving tight end group. But this guy, I think, is the most athletic. Luke Musgrave out of Oregon State going to Green Bay to help out Jordan Love. This guy, they lined him up all over the place, almost played like a big receiver at times, and he just cooked DBs. I mean, that's how athletic and fast and quick he is with the outstanding ball skills, the length, the extension. Only played 2 games this year, had the injury, so that was the big question mark coming into it with the injury, lack of playing time there. But when you just talking about a supremely talented athlete playing receiver there for Jordan Love to be a safety valve, I think he was the perfect fit to go there, be the most athletic tight end that Green Bay's had since Jermichael Finley. Could kind of recreate the magic of Rogers, Jermichael Finley, and now you got Love and Musgrave.
Unfortunately, one of those games was against Fresno State, so I appreciate
Wow, David.
Sorry about that.
Nice. But this tight end group has been really impressive. I got to see literally all of them come in as one large group. And when I mean large, I mean gargantuan. One man in particular, Darnell Washington, made a huge impression on me. I don't know how I missed him. I literally ran into the guy. I almost fell over. I've never seen someone his size, but he slid down to 93rd to the Steelers. Coach, why do you think a team had to wait so long to grab this guy?
A lot of whispers and questions about medical, but you watch this guy play, and you're right, he is big. 264 pounds. He ran a 4.64. Now, it's not a 4.5, but that guy that big, I mean, we're talking about physics here. That big, going that fast, he is hard to bring down. You see him hurdle people and jump over people, but I tell you who's going to love him in Pittsburgh, Cody Pickett. You've got a big, large man who's a large target, working in the middle of the field. You know another one who's going to love him? Najee Harris. Already ran for 1,000 yards. Now you've got a true, legitimate blocking tight end on the edge there, and that Pittsburgh Steelers fan base is going to love this guy. He's going to make it ugly. He's going to fight those guys and control the edge of the running game, as well as be able to be that viable option in the passing game.
Yeah, a lot of huge tight ends that are going to make a huge impact. Even if there are just a few doubts, I think Darnell is still going to be one of those guys to watch for sure this season. All right, let's go to the wide receivers.
Yeah,
Steve, you've been waiting patiently.
Let's talk about the real people.
Out of the page, one guy that is Agent 89 approved, Jayden Reed. You love this fit?
I love this fit. Even talked to some people about Reed prior to the draft. I just love what he does. You look at Zay Flowers. He has that Zay Flowers with the ball in his hands. I don't know his FBI, his football intelligence completely because I didn't get opportunity to speak with him, but I can tell that he has a high football IQ. His ability to understand coverages, uses his hands, he catches the ball away from his body, he attacks it, and also, too, in these later rounds, you talk about special teams value. He has a special teams value, so he is a young man that you want to keep on the field. You have to find ways to take him off the field just to give him a breather. And then also, too, I believe he transferred from Western Michigan as well. So I just love that he's rising up and he's went to a smaller school and has been able to show that he can play on the bigger stages.
Now he's headed to Green Bay. They selected him 50th overall. Now, your former squad, a team you're very close to, with a guy that you really, really love in Jonathan Mingo, who's going to the Panthers at 39. And you were banging the table for this, dude.
I was banging the table. Listen, I'm a banging table for all these wide receivers, and I love Jonathan Mingo. My comp for Jonathan Mingo is Eric Mose. He is Mingo's superpower is his strength. But it's not his strength to where you say he's gonna try. He's trying to play outside of himself. He knows exactly who he is, and he plays big boy ball. He also catches the ball away from his body as well. But he only has 3 gears. Eric Mose was much faster. Mingo, he understands who he is. He doesn't try to play outside of himself, but he's also like a cross-country runner where he's not gonna wow you with his speed. He's gonna wow you with his consistency and just going to, he's just gonna bear his strength and his body on you over and over, and almost like a running back as the game goes on, 60 or 70 plays, trying to tackle a 220, 215 guy, and he's gonna dip his shoulder. It's like a bowling ball, man. I love it.